Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the Dr. Vibe Show, also host and producer of the weekly Black Men's Roundtable. Do you know what time it is? Which is on every Sunday, or most Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where we discuss current news events. And you can also catch me once a month at the Good Men Project, hosting Google Hangouts and co-producing them with Marie Roker Jones. Remember, you're blessed and highly favored, a magnet for miracles and a solution for someone's problem. And we have another returning guest. He's become a good friend. I know him as a good friend. I know his wife by calling her today and finally speaking with her. And speaking one day, we'll get a chance to meet each other. We have Raymond Hamilton on the line. He's been on the show a number of times. Great filmmaker, a social justice warrior. I think I'd like to say that of him. He's a social justice warrior. He's going to be chatting with us tonight about mass incarceration and solitary confinement in America. Yes, in America. And also about a project he's working on that will deal with both those subjects. So Raymond, welcome back on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure having conversations with you. So it's an honor.
Excellent. And yeah, I like the yellow shirt, man. Styling. I'm liking that, man.
In California, you know, got a sunny California.
All right, that's good stuff. A little short background on yourself before we get into the main topics tonight. Give our audience a little bit of a short background on yourself.
Sure. Well, I've been working as a filmmaker since, professionally working as a filmmaker since 2005, based here in Los Angeles. It was about, I'm a self-taught filmmaker, so I didn't go to film school or anything like that. Basically kind of learned through trial and error. And, you know, over the years have helped, sharpen my skills, watching tons of movies and things like that. And over the past few years, you know, one of the things that I and my company, you know, we realized, and my company is my wife and I, but one of the things that we realized is, you know, even making a short film, you know, something that's like 5-10 minutes long, if you do, you know, doing it professionally, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of resources, a lot of people. And so we realized, you know, like if we're going to go through this whole process, we need to, you know, have it be more than just, oh, it was a good story, or, oh, that was a fun movie to go to. Those things are fine, but if you can add that in addition to something more meaningful so that the audiences can leave there with something other than just the film, you know what I mean, some sort of a message or something. And so my wife and I have always been, you know, very active in our community. I'm actually part of the civic association in my community here, and I've been a member of other different civic associations in the various places that I've lived in. So, you know, being engaged in what's going on in our society has been something that my wife and I have always been a part of, well before we even got into filmmaking. So it just kind of clicked naturally. It's like, well, you know, we're doing this filmmaking and we love it, and we also have this passion for, you know, offering what we can to help make this world a better place. So why not marry those two? And so we did that with our film Smuggled, which I think we talked about, you know, almost over a year ago now. You know, and we saw very, very positive results. You know, not just from like, you know, film festival acceptances and awards, but when we toured the film at various different colleges and universities across the country, the reception was amazing, and it was really good to see young people be inspired, you know, and saying like, you know, but being inspired by the work that we're doing, you know, like obviously people enjoy entertainment, you know, they get their films, their television shows, their apps, and all that good stuff, and that me included, you know, but they appreciated that not only were we giving them entertainment, but we were tying it into real issues, real social issues. And so, you know, fast forward to now, you know, one of the things that's been really coming to the light or to the surface, not so much as I wish it were, but it's really the, you know, looking at the American prison system, you know, not just the prison system as a whole, but also, you know, looking in, you know, they say the hole within the hole, you know, and that's the solitary confinement, or sorry, the belly within the belly is actually the term. But, you know, one thing that happened, this was last year, you know, again, being very engaged in what's going on, I listened to a lot of NPR, the National Public Radio, and there was a California hunger strike that was going on here, and that was, you know, really big topic. And so, you know, just because I kept, you know, as I'm driving to and from wherever I'm working, you know, I keep hearing these stories, and, you know, they have people that were in solitary confinement, and they were talking about their experiences. But basically, you know, all of these, not all of them, but a good chunk of those are incarcerated that were in solitary confinement, they refused to eat, in solidarity, to hopefully make some sort of changes and reform to the use of solitary confinement. It's because it's a form of torture, like point blank. And so just started doing research, started connecting with groups like the ACLU and Amnesty International, started connecting with people that have been incarcerated. Like one of the guys that's working with us on our show, which we'll get to that in a sec, our new project, he's actually someone who's been in solitary for almost 5 years. There's another guy that's working with us who's been in solitary for over 20 years. And so getting all of that different input and for lack of better terms, going really further down that rabbit hole, we realized, like, bottom line is the American prison system is completely out of whack and is in need of some major overhaul. That's basically the conclusion that we came to after all of this research and stuff.
Before you got into this journey about this project and this vision, did you have any caring, any knowledge, any feel for the prison system in America?
Yes and no. I just like I think several people in this country, for some reason, there's an interest and an intrigue when it comes to prison. There's been several shows, several movies. Obviously now there's Orange is the New Black. That's a more recent example. So whenever there's things that dealt with prison, if there's like documentaries and things like that, yeah, I would be wanting to watch just out of pure curiosity. Now, was I super engaged? No. Did I ever have someone that was a relative or a close friend that was incarcerated? I can think of maybe like 2 people. Neither of them were in solitary confinement. So I had an interest, but I definitely wasn't. It wasn't a subject that I was passionate about. It wasn't a subject that I had really any good knowledge, because the downside is, like, there have been all these movies and shows. Now, you go onto like MSNBC and they have like at least 5 different prison shows. It's kind of insane. Those are all reality shows. But what I realized is, from watching that content and then actually looking at, the work that the ACLU is doing in companies like Solitary Watch and the information that they're bringing to light, and then talking with those that have been incarcerated and in solitary confinement, I realized that, like, all of that other media is not really accurate. And in fact, it's completely inaccurate in painting, it's painting in a totally different light than what it actually is, So in some ways, I was misinformed because of my interests, So I had these interests, I would watch these things, but I was getting the wrong information, or I was getting it from just one side of the coin, And it's logical, when you start to think about it, especially as a filmmaker, if you're, as a prison warden, if you're going to allow a film crew to come into your prisons, or let's say even into your solitary confinement units, everyone's going to be on.
Okay, we've lost audio. I don't know, Raymond. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, I've lost audio on your end, Raymond. I don't know what has happened, but all of a sudden your audio just went on us. Can you hear me still? Okay. For some reason, I can't hear the audio on your end. Let's see what has just happened. Okay. Just bear with us, folks, and we'll see if we can get this issue cleared up. The unfortunate thing is I don't know if the audience can hear him. So, well, this is a very... Okay, let me do something here. Let me try something, because the audio is gone. I can't hear you at all on my end. So, but my audio is good. So what I'm going to do is do a little test. So just bear with me a minute, folks. Okay, Ramon, can you say something for me, please? Yeah, I can't hear you at all. No, I don't know. Maybe we'll need to restart. I don't know why this has happened. It's an evening of challenges technology wise for both of us. The audio just dropped off. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to shut down for a few moments. I'll try to connect with Raymond again in a few moments and see if we can continue that. So hang tight. We'll be back on in a few minutes. Raymond, I'll call you back in a few. I'll give you a link in a few moments. Okay. All right. Thank you.